Section 38 is about assigning names to things, usually to make it easier to refer to them later. When working through a calculation as a series of inputs, for example, the percent sign is automatically assigned as the name of the result so that the result can be used in the next input. After this calculation, for example, percent in the next input refers to the result from that previous calculation. Percent can also be used in further computations. For example, this gives the square of that result. Using percent like this avoids the need to redo the calculation that led to the result. Names for things can also be assigned using the equal sign. For example, this assigns thing as the name of the result from range of 10. After that, whenever thing appears in calculations, it is replaced by that value, so entering thing returns that list of numbers. This squares the value of thing. The equal sign can be used to assign a name to something even if the result is not displayed. For example, this assigns million list as a name of the result from range of a million. The semicolon at the end of the input is included to avoid displaying the result, which is a very long list of numbers. Even though it was not displayed, the value of million list was still assigned and can be used in calculations. When a name is assigned to something, the value will remain unless it is explicitly cleared. For example, this assigns 42 as the value of x, and after that, whenever x comes up in a calculation, it will be replaced by that value. To avoid conflicts with some other use of x later in a program, the value can be cleared using the clear function. After that, x no longer has a value and is not replaced. The assignment to x set up what is called a global value for x, which means that the value will be used everywhere in that Wolfram language session. That is fine if that is what is intended, but to avoid conflicts, it can be safer to instead assign a temporary local value to x, which can be done using a function called module. For example, this sets the value of x to be a list of numbers within a module. Within the module, the assignment works just as before and assigns a value to x, which is then used in a calculation, but after the module, x is left without a value. Module can have as many local variables as are needed. Here's an example with values assigned to local variables x and n. After that calculation, the variables x and n again do not have values. Or if x or n already had values before the module, they would still have those same values after the module. Most of the programming that has come up in previous sections has been what is called functional programming, which means programming by applying sequences of functions. For example, here is a functional program which works by applying the range function to 10, then using the power function indicated by the caret character to square that result, and then applying the plus function indicated by the plus sign to add 1000. Functional programming is a very powerful and direct style of programming that is uniquely suited to the Wolfram language. Assigning names to things opens up a different style of programming called procedural programming, where programs are organized as sequences of steps and names are assigned to intermediate results so that those results can be used in later steps. Here, for example, is that same calculation written as a procedural program. This calculation is organized into 3 steps, with the steps separated by semicolons. The first step assigns the result from range of 10 as the value of x, the second step assigns x squared as the value of y, and the third step adds 1000 to the value of y to get the result of the program. Procedural programming has been used in lower-level programming languages since the very earliest days of computing and is still useful in the Wolfram language, though in many ways it has been eclipsed by functional programming as well as by the pattern-based style of programming that will be discussed in later sections. The semicolon in this program is the same semicolon that was used earlier to prevent the display of a long list. Putting a semicolon at the end with nothing after that last semicolon is like specifying an empty final action, which is why nothing is displayed. After entering this input, for example, with a semicolon at the end, pressing Shift-Enter does do the calculation and does assign a value to y, but does not display a result. A value was still assigned, however, as can be seen by entering y as a separate calculation without a semicolon at the end. At this point in the current Wolfram language session, x and y have global values. Before continuing, it is usually a good idea to clear values that are no longer needed. Alternatively, rather than remembering to clear x and y after the calculation, the entire program can be enclosed in module with x and y listed as local variables. For example, here is a version of that earlier program enclosed in module. In this program, the values assigned to x and y within the module are temporary local values, so x and y do not have values after the calculation. In addition to specifying the local variables, the first argument in module can also include assignments to set up initial values for those variables. For example, here is a module with x, y, and n as local variables, and with an assignment used to assign an initial value to n. For larger and more complicated programs, it is worth noting that modules can also be nested, which is useful for isolating local variables in different parts of a program. That's the end of the examples for this section. To summarize, here is the programming vocabulary for this section. This section included the notion of assigning names to things, the notion of localizing variables, such as by using module, and distinctions between different common programming styles, especially between functional programming and procedural programming. More information about these topics can be found in the Wolfram Language and System Documentation Center by clicking the Core Language and Structure button and choosing Items from the menu that pops up. This menu includes links to guide pages on the programming styles that were mentioned in this section, including functional programming, programming using patterns and rules, and procedural programming. The topics in this section come up mostly in procedural programming. The guide page on procedural programming includes a link to information on assignments using the equal sign and a link to information on the use of semicolons for entering a sequence of computations. The equal sign is a notation for a function called set, and the semicolon is a notation for a function called compound expression. This page also includes links to information on module and related functions for localizing variables. Here are the exercises from the end of this section. As an example, consider exercise 38.3. Use module to generate an image collage from a picture of a giraffe and the results of applying blur, edge detect, and color negate to it. One way to get an image of a giraffe is to type Ctrl equal and enter "Show me an image of a giraffe" in plain English. Immediately after that calculation, the value of % is the image of the giraffe. Although this input does not use a module as required for the exercise, the image collage described in the exercise can be constructed by applying the image collage function to a list containing that image and blur, edge detect, and color negate applied to that image using % to refer to the image. Alternatively, the image can be assigned as the value of a variable, and that variable can be used in the argument of image collage to refer to the image of the giraffe. The exercise does, however, specifically say to use module, which is appropriate in an example like this to localize the variable so that the value assigned to the variable remains local to this calculation.